Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a good day. I just saw someone doing a video on Blockbuster, and it made me think back to my Blockbuster days. Hold on, let me move my tripod closer. See, back in my day, there was a store called Blockbuster. Everyone knows what fucking Blockbuster was. Even if you're younger than me, you know what Blockbuster was. Either your parents told you, or everyone knows what a Blockbuster was. Anyway, I was dealing with them because nobody was buying me games. If I wanted to play a game, I had to rent it. So I was dealing with Blockbuster all the way through the Nintendo Classic, all the way up to shit and Xbox 360. But when it turned to the disc days, when the games were discs, this is a crime I have to admit to, and I don't think Blockbuster can do shit about it. And the local franchisee, I'll tell you what, they finally caught on. They did catch on. I'll tell you what. So the disc you would rent. I'd rent them. You'd get to look at the back of the box, see if you liked it. But the back of the box always made it seem dope because they wanted you to buy it. But a lot of times I'd get home and it was not a great game. It wasn't something I was into, and especially with the 360. The 360 was known that if the console itself just moved just a little, it would cause these scratches around the disc. This is evil. It would cause these scratches around the disc that would make the disc completely unplayable, totally broken. Like they couldn't clean it and have it play again. That was it for that disc. It was had to be thrown out. So the blockbuster would usually, if you were having a problem with the game, like the game's skipping, they would replace the disc for you. They'd give you the same game. But what I would do is when I would go in there and I'd rent the game, I'd be thinking about renting. I'd take all the other copies and put them behind another copy of a game, so it would look like on the shelf there was only one copy of that game. I'd grab that. I'd take it home. If I didn't like it, I'd just give my 360 a little shake. All of a sudden, it had these rings on it, unplayable. The disc itself had the unplayable scratches on it, and I'd bring it back, and they go, "Oh, you can exchange it for the same one. Go ahead." And I'd always go back there and be like, "Oh, there isn't any other copies left. What am I supposed to do now?" They'd be like, "Oh, all right, just take a different game if you want." That was the whole plan. So I was finessing Blockbuster, and I was like 10, 11 years old. I was finessing Blockbuster. But eventually, it took a long time. It took like 20 games for them to catch on. Eventually, they talked to my mom, and they were like, "Yo, we think your son is purposely fucking up games, and we're not going to let him rent here anymore. We're not going to let y'all rent here anymore. We're not going to let you rent games here anymore. If one more comes back like that." And she told me about it, and yeah, that strategy went out the window, and I used to just get stuck with shitty games sometimes. But sometimes you turn shit into shit, and you just play it because that's all you got. And the once you got online, which I never had, I'm sure some of those shitty games would have been way better. But at the time, I was living at my mom's house with my stepdad. That motherfucker had dial up. I don't know if y'all remember Net Zero. We had Net Zero, so that's what I was working with. That's how I was. I mean, there's no way you could play online with that. And I could barely look shit up on Wikipedia. I don't even think Wikipedia was in its infancy back then. Yeah, there was Wikipedia, and I would look up drugs on Irwin, drugs that I was gonna buy and do, and I'd be like, "No, it's for a school project. They want us to look up the dangers of drugs for health class or whatever." My stepbrother was like, he would be like, "That's bullshit." He knew, but I don't think my stepdad figured it out. But yeah, that was my crime. I wanted to admit to that I pulled at Blockbuster. I'll be back with some more crimes. Very uninteresting ones.